Spook Radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening, Fade to Black. Bespoke Radio for the masses. How you doing? It's Thursday, March 21st, 2019. 80 days into the new year, just 285 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful, rainy, wet, cold downtown Burbank, California, and I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States, hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRI, the Planet. It's Thursday. It is Fadernight. What is cracking? It is open lines all night long. That's right. Your stories, contact, UFOs, paranormal, supernatural, everything is on the table. I do want to hear from you. The call-in number is 747-228-2051. I'll be opening up the phone lines at the bottom of the hour, and we'll crank this thing through. All right? Nothing like a Thursday night. Nothing like a Thursday night. It's sort of over the last few days until yesterday and today, I might add. I thought we took the turn and we were heading from winter into summer. We don't really have a spring here in Southern California, but Sunday it got up to like 80, 85 degrees. It was like, oh man, this is so great. Here we go, rock and roll. And then what's today, Thursday? So the last 3 days, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, temperatures dropped. It's raining again. Yesterday I was driving around Burbank. We had hail, flooding. I was driving down this main drag. I was coming down the hill. I swear to you, I saw cars floating. Not really. But I was going to shoot video. Watching it was like, man, it's not going to stop. So there you go. Cold, wet, and rainy Burbank. And I'm here with you guys tonight. And because it was raining a couple of nights ago, which was Tuesday night, everybody was posting the pictures of tacos, and it was Taco Tuesday, and got all excited about that. I wasn't going to go out in the rain. I wasn't going to do it. Wasn't going to go to a taco truck. What are my alternatives? Taco Bell. Product placement. Have you guys ever seen that movie? What is it called? Kung Pao. Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. That movie, so funny. And there's a scene in that movie about product placement with Taco Bell. Anyway, I mean, what's my alternative? So tonight, I went to Rita. I said, you got some cash? Yeah. What do you need cash for? Taco Bell. That's what I've got my eyes on. Taco Bell, man. I got some weird audio playing in the background. Yeah. Let me turn it off. Sorry about that. That just creeped in. Okay. All right, 747-228-2051 is the call-in number. So I'm going to open up the phone lines at the bottom of the hour. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox right there, so you can post in the sandbox. What are the odds? What are the odds of you? We get your statement about On Stellar. I did that the other night. Where were you? Jeez. Oh, man. I did that the other night. Okay. 747-228. That's in Twitter. 2051. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. At JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Hashtag F2BQ is the Fade to Black questions. Okay. And you can post them right there. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Breaking news. Remember Nick Sandman? Nick Sandman, the Kentucky high school student wearing the MAGA hat at the National Mall in front of the tribal leader Nathan Phillips. You remember that? Well, he has officially sued CNN for its reporting on the viral video controversy in January, and the lawsuit is seeking damages of $275 million. This follows Sandman's multi-million-dollar lawsuit earlier this month against the Washington Post. Now, over to Brexit, over to the UK. It was reported today that a team of highly trained British military personnel located in a nuclear-proof bunker under the UK Ministry of Defense have been activated. That's right, activated to prepare for a doomsday no-deal Brexit scenario. It's called Operation Redfold. It will see 3,500 military personnel put on standby as Her Majesty's government prepares to enter a very high readiness mode for the dreaded no-deal scenario. Now, the bunker, called Pindar, is located deep under the Defense Ministry and is used only at a time of war or outright national emergency. There are reports coming out of the UK right now. Food's being stockpiled. They're anticipating a shortage of toilet paper. Some of these troops will be used to transport gasoline and drive trucks and distribute food if everything breaks down in the United Kingdom. Absolutely nuts. But they're preparing for the worst. And I didn't think it was going to be like that, would it? It's pretty crazy. And they're also anticipating the pound, right, the British pound, to take a complete nosedive. And the delay was approved, by the way, by the EU. It looks like it's next Friday, right? March 29th is Brexit Day. We shall see. All right, don't forget, you need to, right now, don't delay, download the Surfer music streaming app. That's SURFR, the Surfer music streaming app. And you see my shirt? Okay, this is from Inquire Within, his hoodie. It's very cool. And I was going to wear my Surfer T-shirt that I just got. But this is a pullover hoodie. So it wouldn't make any sense. So I'm going to wear my Surfer shirt on Monday. You got to check that out. Anyway, the Surfer Music streaming app, it's free to download. Just go to the banners at jimmychurchradio.com or go to surfer, SURFR.FM. You can download it there. I keep saying this. I want to drive this home. It's super easy. It's super fun. All you have to do is download it and start enjoying music. That's it. You don't give up any personal information, any privacy concerns, nothing like that. You're just going to download it. Download it and press play. It's absolutely amazing. Our next event is Contact in the Desert, May 31st through June 3rd in Indian Wells, Palm Springs, California, at the Renaissance Indian Wells Resort and Spa. Tickets and info over at contactinthedesert.com. We have a full weekend of events that we're going to be doing. Of course, Friday night, we broadcast Fade to Black. Saturday night, you need to get your tickets. You need to do this now. Saturday night, I'm hosting the awards dinner. So go to contactinthedesert.com and get yourself some awards dinner tickets. That's Saturday. Sunday, I'll be hosting the last panel and the closing ceremonies on Sunday night. And so 3 nights of Fade to Black at Contact in the Desert. All right, contactinthedesert.com. And then coming up right after that is our 2019 Soul Tech Conference over the July 4th weekend. And it's at the Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. It's very easy to get your tickets and info. Just go to soultechgathering.com. And if you don't want to type it in, go to the website, jimmychurchradio.com, click on the banner. Okay, tickets are going fast. Accommodations are going fast. So you're going to want to go and get everything set up. It's going to be great. I'm already looking at everything with everybody that we have speaking and the way that we've got all of the events lined up. When you go to soultechgathering.com, a complete schedule is there. It is absolutely amazing. soultechgathering.com. We had so much fun last year. Shot a great documentary, Beyond Benevolence, which you can go and check that out too as well. And, of course, we'll be shooting another documentary this year at Soul Tech 2019 in Loveland, Colorado. soultechgathering.com. All right, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. It is just $2 per month. Go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on that podcast banner. We have over 1,000 shows for just $2 a month. You can also become a Fadernight right there in our membership section of the site. You can do whatever you want. You can get autographed hats, T-shirts, downloadable commercial-free MP3 files, a great show archive. Everything is right there. Private email to me. Get the bunker cam, of course. And pretty soon we're going to be shutting down YouTube. We're not that far away from doing it. I would almost say we could do it on Monday. But I'm going to do something more hospitable. I'll give everybody a warning leading up to it. And then we're going to do it. But we're about ready to go. So the only way to get the bunker cam will be through the membership section at jimmychurchradio.com. Okay? Aight. Okie dokie. This is what we're going to do now. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today. Gary Oldman is 60. Now, let's do this. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night. I'm hanging out with all of you right now. Okay? I'm hanging out with all of you right now in Twitter. Tell me your favorite Gary Oldman film and character. Because for me, there's only one. And he's great. But there's only one. There's only one. I'll give you a hint. This box is empty. 4 stones. 1, 2. What? Okay. Gary Oldman today is 60. I want to see it. I want to see it light up right there on YouTube. Come on. We're of hive mind here. Fifth Element. Dan Betts. That's pretty smooth, dude. That was pretty quick. That was pretty quick. Where am I at? That was Gary Oldman, right? Zorg. Remember when he's got the plastic see-through thing on his head and the blood starts coming down and the blood is black and it drips right down his forehead? Man, that's a great scene. That is just an amazing scene. Timothy Dalton today is 74. All right. Now, so let's light this up. Jason, the Fifth Element. That's good. You guys are good. John Teeter, the Fifth Element. John Teeter from the future comes in with the Fifth Element. Yeah, you guys are good. John Ledford, True Romance. He was great in played the Rastafarian cocaine dealer. That was pretty cool. Dracula, amazing. Absolutely. But man, Zorg. Never be ashamed of who you are. Zorg. Okay, Timothy Dalton today is 74. So let's keep this going on Twitter. Okay? Lost in Space, he was great. Casper, I agree. I agree with you there. Triscale Sirius Black, yes. All good, but man, Zorg. Okay, Timothy Dalton today is 74. And what was his best? I'm going to test all of you right now. Because there's only one answer for that. There's only one, and he was amazing. So give me Timothy Dalton's best. I want to see it in Twitter. Okay? I'm going to come back to it. No. Flash Gordon. Jace, you are great. Jace, I am so impressed. He killed it. Yeah, there it is. There it is right there. Eric Stitt, thank you for that. Taps. Who are we talking about here? Taps. Wasn't Taps with Tom Cruise and what's his name? Oh man, that was a good movie though. That was a good movie about the military school. All right, Timothy Dalton, Flash Gordon, undoubtedly the Book of Eli for Gary Oldman. Really? That was pretty good though. Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, sticking his hand in the log. Jace, you're absolutely... That was a great scene. John Ledford, you guys are good. Okay, all right. This is why I like Thursday. I am just in a great mood. Okay, where am I at? On this day in history, 1963, Alcatraz prison in San Francisco Bay closes down and transfers its last prisoners. At its peak of use in the 1950s, the Rock housed only 200 inmates. Yeah, that's it. Lucinda, Sid Vicious. What? Was it Sid Vicious' birthday today? What a sexy hoodie. You like that? Yeah, thank you, Brent. It is absolutely killer. Okay. Alcatraz closes. Where am I at? Fader fact. A nearly defunct train station in Japan had plans to close, but noticed a student was the only one using it, right? Train station in Japan. One person standing there for the train. It was a high school student. They decided to close once the student graduated high school. They kept it open. The train picked her up in the morning, dropped her off at night, made 2 stops with 1 passenger every day, and they finally closed when she graduated on March 25th, 2016. You should see the pictures of it, too. Pretty crazy. All right, tonight's another Fader night. Open lines all night long. Call a number 747-228-2051. Again, 747-228-2051. All right, let me hit this River Moon coffee. Did you guys see Juanita and Jeff from River Moon Coffee? They were just at Abbey Road Studios in London. They're on vacation, and wow, so jealous. Totally cool. And they're on their way back to the States, and we're going to get a chance to hang out with them. But have you noticed what's been going on in social media over the last few weeks in those ufology circles out there? Have you taken a gander? I kind of brushed it off, basically because I saw it coming. And yes, I did warn everybody about the coming storm. And I've been doing that for about 6 months. Okay? I saw it playing out. I was getting these crazy messages and warnings and things. Well, anyway, over the last couple of days, I kind of poked around and read a few threads. Well, it was actually more than a few. But, okay, this is where I say, can we talk? Okay? Can we talk? Gary Oldman in The Professional was pretty good. Yeah, I agree with that. It makes me ponder. It does, because it's so fascinating to watch and read, right? We have 2 groups out there. We have 2. Not all of ufology is in these 2 groups, but we have 2 groups in ufology, okay, is what I'm trying to say. We have the TTSA crowd, right, out there, and their fans, all right, those fans, and the Blue Eagles. And what is funny about this, and I do mean funny as in like, ha ha, funny. It's funny. It's comical. Is that both groups are egoed out and want to control the community. Okay? And I find that hysterical, which, it just ain't going to happen. It's not. They are both way smaller than they think. And they both groups think that they're huge, and they are not. They would be surprised. They would be shocked to find out how small they really are. But neither side can take criticism. The followers in these groups can't take anybody criticizing, right? And it's strange because both groups are fundamentally so different, right? They're so different, but at the core of what is going on here, both want to control all of the information. Both say that they are right and everybody else is wrong. And on both sides, if you criticize anybody, and I'm going in and I'm just reading, right? I'm not participating. I'm just reading. But anybody that criticizes is completely trolled by the respected followers of the said groups, and they're both doing the exact same thing. I'm telling you, it's fascinating to watch and read. So it makes me think, and I've said this before, could this be all by design? Yeah, think about it. And I'm being very serious for a second. The players that are involved are the ones, and I'm talking about this information that is supposedly coming forward, right? All the way around in these two groups. The players, those people, are the ones that have been creating disinformation for decades. It's what they do. It's their, wait for it, profession. That's right. And if you think about it, they are releasing bad info, stories, video, drawings, data, whatever experiences, whistleblowers, witnesses that are so easily debunked, it's crazy. All of it. And sure, I know that you all want it to be true. All of it. It doesn't matter if it's TTSA, Blue Eagle, or anybody else, right? We all want it to be true, including me. Let's be clear here. I do. But everything that has been brought forward has been shot down. And all of it. Not to break it all down here. I'm not going to do that. We've done it all already, But think about it for a second. Where you have one side, which is the Blue Eagles, right, that are basing everything on, off-planet armies and battles and multiple races and civilizations of alien beings and councils and United Nations of planets and ambassadors and all of this, slave trades and eating humans and all of that stuff. So we got all of that, and us building these secret space fleets, and it could all be true. I don't know, but you have that, right? And those followers of that group believe it. And if you say or criticize, they attack. And then on the other side, which is TTSA, right, that is presenting videos and involved with the Pentagon, and it's the CIA, and this is all the real truth and all this, and they want to control the trickle down, and they're testing, if they're testing metamaterials that I guess you don't. This is what's interesting. You don't test alien materials from off planet in a controlled laboratory and then have it peer reviewed in a journal, right? No, I guess that kind of science is out the window. Instead, that science is going to be done on the History Channel, right? So you have that part. And it's fascinating to me where you have that, and now if that is a real controlled disclosure that is going on, then why, as followers of that, are you worried about what other people have to say? And wouldn't you, if you were part of that group, welcome anybody else out there that has anything else to say, because you need to get all the evidence together? And it also goes back to the Blue Eagles. It's the same situation there, that anybody that doesn't agree with you, or that anybody else that has an idea or an experience or anything else, or sees something, right, or has a story that wants to come forward, that they get shot down because it's not coming from their whistleblowers and their information. It is fascinating. And now we have these two absolutely opposing angle of how they are doing this, and they are going at it, man. They're going at it, toe to toe, tooth and nail. And it's fascinating. It must be by design. That's the only thing that I can think of. Right? Why have the TTSA official, air quotes, stuff that's coming out of the Pentagon get shot down and debunked and everything else, and have issues with that, unless it's by design? It's too easily affected and destroyed. And then you have the other side, right? It's like, it's got to be by design. It's the only thing that makes sense, right? What happened? What happened to just discussion about this? What happened to common sense? What happened about this? You know, let's take down the man together and let's figure this all out. It's absolutely amazing. It's amazing to see. So us, you know, all of you, you know, the Fadernauts and the rest of the UFO community, which is really, I'm talking about what's going on with TTSA, it's small numbers. What's going on with the Blue Eagles, small numbers. We're talking about a very small group of people, right, on both sides. The rest of the UFO community, the majority of it, don't even know that this stuff is going on or what these two groups are doing. They don't. It's unbelievable, but they think that they are the most important, and they are not. It's fascinating. It's unbelievably great. So, I said at the beginning of this, it's funny, ha-ha. That's exactly what's going down. It's funny. I will just kick back, just like the rest of you, and just watch these two destroy each other. And then, in the end, there's going to be nothing left. It's fascinating. This is Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. It is Thursday night. It's open lines all night long. Open lines, 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's all you got to do, at JChurchRadio. All right? I'll be right back after the short break, and I'll be taking your phone calls. Stay with me.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black Blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey folks, guess what the number one phrase that Life Change Tea receives by email? You ready? We love this tea. We love this tea. Time after time, week after week, we love this tea. Life Change Tea gives you more energy, a beautiful cleansing, and fulfills its slogan perfectly. The tea that makes you go. So if you want to be on your health game, log on to getthetea.com and order Life Change Super Strength Tea. Packages come in a 1-month supply, and when you brew this stuff, wait until you see the results. Aren't we all about the results? And with a lot of people's health struggling, we can use a little bit of help. Doctors will tell you disease starts in the gut. So log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Be our next email saying, I love this tea. I love this tea. Get the tea at getthetea.com. Helping America one tea bag at a time.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
Welcome back. Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? It's Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. Open lines all night long. Everything's on the table. I want to hear from you. UFOs, supernatural, paranormal, ghosts, time travel, the weather. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite movie? Let's go there. Have you watched Third Eye Spies? It's an amazing documentary. Have you checked that out? I do want to hear from all of you, okay? We had nothing but an amazing week here on Fade to Black. Last night, JJ and Desiree Hertog and their new book, Giza's Industrial Complex. What it's just an absolutely fascinating. Riz Verk, the simulation hypothesis. We've had a great week. All right, so with that, let's get this party started. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's the Q again. How you doing?
How you doing, the Q? What's going on, man?
Not too bad. Hey, listen, the last night's show, I got to admit, don't be mad at me. Listen, I listened to a few minutes of it, and I had to walk away from it.
Okay.
Here's my reasoning. One, I sent it on the Twitter there, but in Germany, they have a 1,200-ton crane that's mobile.
Yeah, so?
And, you know, people are saying that we can't lift these stones today. You know what I mean?
Can't. Yeah, no. Okay, I'll hear you out, Q. But I'll say this. But I want to hear what you have to say about this. I've done a lot of research into this, and but if you only listen to a few minutes of the show and walk away, then you don't get a chance to learn anything or get a chance to argue.
Well, I have another point too, also to make of the show, and I'm not saying bad about those folks, because I hear it across the board, and a lot of people are saying the same thing. And I'm not trying to say this in a bad way in any way, shape, or form, but I'm kind of getting tired of it sounding like the folks today are calling our, if you want to call them ancestors or the folks from the past, stupid. Okay, because the lady said that they couldn't even build that shaft, the air shafts or star shafts, whatever they're called, straight. How can you do that? You know what I mean? Everybody puts the Egyptians down and everything, but yet
she's actually Q. She said the opposite.
Nah, I put it down. She said I wrote it. That says someone said. She said someone else said that the shafts could not be made as straight as they were back then.
Well, what she is stating, and let's be very, very clear here, that in the year 3000 BC, that Stone Age man, everybody on this planet was running around in animal skins. Okay, and
I don't
somehow,
believe that for a minute yet.
Well, wait a minute. I'm telling you what mainstream academia is telling you. Mainstream academia is saying that was Stone Age man. Okay, so Stone Age man suddenly is building something that was so tall that until the Eiffel Tower was built in the 1800s, there was nothing taller on this planet, and it was done 5,000 years ago. And so that was constructed by Stone Age man when everybody else is foraging for seeds in the dirt, but suddenly this is built. And those air shafts, and this is the point that she made, and I will drive this home all day long. Those air shafts, it's one thing to build a solid monument out of stone with nothing on the inside of it. Now you're building layer by layer stones with air shafts going through them. How is that possible? How do you get that done? You are placing a stone. No. Okay, I would love to hear how you would place a stone, carve a groove into it, and place it down and have it match up for 250 feet. So that shaft goes through stones. How is that done?
They're not carved, and the stones, they're not carved grooves. They're walled. There's 4 stones each side, isn't it?
Have you seen the pictures?
I've seen a few pictures, and to be honest, some of them are very difficult to actually really determine. But even if you carve a groove, dude, they use the triangle with a string down from the tip of the triangle downwards like a plumb bob. That's how you get your level, you know what I mean, your angles. The tools are so simple in carpentry that you can transfer it to stone and very easily do this. I think people are underestimating the Egyptians and anybody from back then. I really do. And as far as mainstream, I don't believe half of what they say, because they only want you to listen to or hear what they want you to hear. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. And, like I said, all of us have to do one thing: keep your ears open and constantly listen. If you go,
I love your show, man. That's
absolutely.
Why I call. I'm sorry, I call almost every week. I try not to, but you're an addiction, man. I just want to give a shout out to my buddy, the Pope.
the Pope?
Yes, the Pope. That's his last name, but I call him the Pope.
Who's the Pope?
Yep. He's a friend of mine out your way. I'm on the East Coast. You're on the West Coast. He's out your way.
Okay. All right, Pope. You got your shout out. Hey, Q, enjoy the rest of your night.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Later.
Look, I will. I need to say this again. Think about of all of the shafts, and of course the Grand Gallery and all of the passageways. That's one thing. That as you are building this without architectural drawings or engineering or anything like that that you are able to, in 3D, do the descending shaft down to the subterranean chamber, 300 feet, perfectly straight, through rock. It's square. Oh, man. And then, so each one of those air shafts, now, if it was bricked in, think about this for a second. It's bricked in. Okay, they're bricking these air shafts. So you still have to bring in the big blocks, and then you are designing these air. How is it done? I don't know. It's almost like you would have to take like something wooden, like a railroad tie, and place it in there and brick around it perfectly, by the way, so it doesn't crumble, and then move it, because you got to open it up. You can't leave the I don't know. I don't know how it's done. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, who's this?
Hey, man, this is Frank up here in the Big Hoosier State.
Frank in the Big Hoosier State. Would that be Indiana, Frank?
No, brother. You didn't recognize it because just a little bit above north of Indy, we split off of the 317 area code, so that's probably why you didn't recognize it. But you got to know that just probably 40 miles north of your home house there is the 765.
Oh, so they got a new area code in Indianapolis. Okay.
Yeah, it's just above. It's up just north of Indy. It's probably where the line cuts off. So it's probably been like that a little over 10 years now.
Really, I did not know that. So
I kind of thought that, but
north of Carmel,
Yep.
How far north of Carmel? The north side of the 465.
I'd probably say maybe 10 miles above
10
there.
miles. Wow. Did you ever go to Castleton Square?
You bet.
Yeah, man. That was my hangout.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you know where and what school Axl Rose graduated from?
In Bloomington? No, I don't.
No, and I didn't say Bloomington. I just said, do you know where and what school that he graduated from?
No, well, I just know it was down in Bloomington, wasn't it?
No, it was northwest of Indianapolis.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
What school?
Well, I was up in Lafayette.
Oh, it's in Lafayette.
Jefferson High School.
Jefferson High School in Lafayette, West Lafayette.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right, there you go. I thought you were going to tell me he went to like North Central. I was going to go, what? I could see him going to North Central, Belzer. So, anyway, you called me, Frank. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to know if there was anybody, in the ufology there that you knew that was maybe 100% dedicated to the industry itself, anybody that doesn't have an agenda. I mean, I've been watching your show for 2 years, and this is the first time I've called you. And the talk that you gave right before the break was like synchronicity, like you wouldn't believe. I mean, as soon as I hit the last button to make this call, you started talking to that, and I was like trying to listen to what you were saying through your recording on the thing, and then listen to what you were saying. I was like, oh my God. I mean, he's right on target with what I'm going to call him about, or related to it, basically.
And what's that? What's that?
Well, I mean, I want to know if there is actually anybody out there that just 100% dedicated to the UFO field, that they're not into it for, other reasons.
Yeah.
When you talk about, Jimmy, when you talk about disclosure, when you would ask, you'd say, what's the big thing? And they're talking about disclosure. Well, we don't ever see that. It's like it's not about disclosure. And then it's like when somebody new comes along that's good, it's like you'll see those that have agendas run out there and gobble those people up and pull them into them, and then go ahead and have him jump on their train and go along with them. I'm not here to name anybody's names or anything like that. My call-in is not about that.
Sure.
I'm not pointing fingers at anybody or anything of that nature. It's depressing. I mean, if you're if you're into disclosure, or if you're into, pumping this up and getting it going, then it's like, why are we not doing that? Why is people not coming up with suggestions, ideas? Where's the dedication at? Where's people's passionate? We need passionate people into that. I mean, when I got alerted to know that it's real stuff, I was blown away. I mean, I'm your age, okay? And I've known this stuff for about 3 years now. And I thought, most times in your life, you kind of feel like you might know a little bit more than you used to know 4 or 5 years before. But when you hear something that you're finally able to answer some of the questions you've always had, like, for example, like I used to say to my wife, I said, there's no way that people could have that much graphic detail. When you make some of these movies like Alien and these different sci-fi movies, where they're going through ships and the doors are open in a certain way and there's certain sounds and everything is just so detailed. There's just no way that can come from somebody's imagination. It has to come from somewhere. Somebody has to see something to get that creative in their mind. You just don't pop up from nowhere, so it has to come from something. So when I become to find out and more into this stuff, then it's like, well, that explains it right there. It's because it does exist. It's just that it exists in the sense that nobody has ever talked to it enough that that's where the stuff comes from. But that's where they get these ideas from. So, but at any rate, again, the reason why I'm calling in, Jimmy, is because where are the dedicated and passionate people?
Yeah, there's plenty of them if you know where to look, and one will lead you to the other. But I would definitely say if you start off with Richard Dolan and you look at guys around Richard, like look at Grant Cameron and listen to his research and how he presents stuff. We're going to have him on the show next week. And then go to others out there like Robert Salas, John Burroughs. Listen to what John Burroughs has to say. He was one of the witnesses to the Rendlesham Forest incident. And Robert Salas was the missile operator at Malmstrom Air Force Base when the UFOs came in and shut down his missile silo complex. And you go, and once you get into those types of researchers, then you start to get a really honest, where those guys are dedicated in the not only the documents and the experiences, but the data and what is real. And they keep the fantasy part of it out. So I would, and once you start to get into that string of researchers, and Stanton Friedman still to this day holds so much water, and he's been doing this for a very long time, and he's a nuclear physicist, and then what I have been doing lately. And I've been doing this a lot, which is getting into the intellectual community, the scientific community, and then go out and look at a guy like Riz Verk, I was just trying to think of his YouTube channel, which hold on for a second. I'm going to look up something here while I'm talking. But once you get into the physics side of it and the scientific side of it, like Isaac Arthur, go to Isaac Arthur's YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is so good and so in a very strange way, and it's called Science and Futurism. That's the name of his YouTube channel. Go there. There is so much information, and go and just listen to the science side of things. And Isaac is a guy that's never had a UFO sighting. He's not even sure if UFOs have ever been here. But he doesn't dismiss it, but he certainly addresses the science side of it. And that's where my heart lies. I do love the science fiction. I don't know if you've ever seen The Expanse. So, watch The Expanse and go all the way through the end of season 3. It's incredible. I can't wait for season 4 to come out. But watch the TV series Mars. Go and watch that. And observe the science side of things. And I really appreciate it. But then again, I love Orville.
Okay, well, I want you to know now. I'm just now not getting woke up here. I mean, I've been woke up for some time, and I have followed several of these names that you just mentioned. But I mean, what it is it's good to know that they're genuine out there, and those guys are the ones that they need to have the shout outs. But when you bump into situations where people say that that's their main gig, is about disclosure, is what they focus, is what is basically like their pivot point. But then when you see that they go to these conferences, and then you see how much it costs to go to those conferences, and then you see that now they're selling, T-shirts, and they got an agenda. Their agenda is to draw you to that and make you money, or maybe they're having some kind of school, maybe doing something online that, they got some kind of setup and they're drawing people, traffic into that. I know how people are around where I live at. And I mean, it's like that, you see that stuff's just transparent as it comes. I mean, you see right through people like that. And it's just like, how do you listen and how do you associate yourself with something like that? It's like it degrades your viewership. It's like I know you're pretty passionate about the viewers that you have. It's like you feel like you got the best viewers in the world out there, and it's like you want nothing but the best for them. You provide them an awesome radio show. You got good equipment there to where everybody can see. I mean, you're upgrading your stuff. Whether it's the stuff the software for calling in or anything like that. You got a day dedicated for people to call in and speak their minds. I mean, sometimes you don't agree with them. Sometimes there's the most funniest sounding stuff that comes in there, and you don't treat anybody any differently. I mean, it just shows what kind of person you are, and I mean that's why I'm calling you. I mean, this is not like me to call somebody up. It's just
right.
I know you're the man. You're the man. I should say you're a very respected man. That's why others in the industry deal with you and call on you, and you know that. I don't need to comb your hair for you because, I mean, you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I do, and I respect that. And it's none of it is an accident, Frank. The integrity of what we try to do here. Integrity is a very, very big word, but that's all that we have got, right? And the audience responds to that. I have always allowed the guest on this show to discuss whatever they want to discuss. And it's because I am interested and I want to ask questions, and let's try to figure this out. And then if we just collectively look at all of this, and you go back and you look at the past 1,000 shows of Fade to Black, and you see there's been an evolution, there's been a revolution, there's, things have evolved, but we've also found out a lot of very interesting things over the years. It's been a fascinating ride. And if any one of us go back to certain periods and we go back and we look at what was going on in the community, underneath a magnifying glass at that time, it's been a very fascinating ebb and flow. It's been fascinating. Yeah. And I've been learning the same as the audience has. I've been learning things and figuring things out all the way down the line. Well, and we've done it together. We've walked together through this.
Hey, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I've learned just due to the type of questions that you ask, those that you're interviewing, because there's a lot of times, I'll be sitting here thinking, I'll be asking them this question. And I mean, here you'll go, well, hell, and I know you're dragging out, you're trying to get your thoughts together before you say it, but you're trying to cut in on them to make sure that they don't keep talking on. And then you'll be like, and then you'll come up with your question. And I'll be, that's exactly what I would have asked them. You know, I mean, it's like you're right on target with it. I mean, you're what makes the show. I mean, I call in to listen to you do your thing more so than I do call in to listen to about the people that you're interviewing. You know, so just because I respect and appreciate you doing what you do and everything. And listen, I don't want to tie the phone lines for other people, because I know other people feel like they got important stuff to call in, say, too. So next time I call you, I'll talk to you about the alien stuff, and we'll go down that route. So just know that you got a brother, you know, same age, just up the road from your home point, you know, that I exist, and I finally decided to call in and bump elbows with you tonight.
Thank you so much, Frank. Now go hit up a White Castle or a Hardee's. Will you do that for me? Or a Waffle House. See, that's
it, man. Take care, Jimmy.
You too, Frank. And all valid points. Frank is spot on the money. And, also, I had to drop that in, White Castle, Waffle House, and Hardee's. I miss all of those things. All right, I got to take a break. It is Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. All right, if you are on hold, stay right there. Okay, I'll get to everybody. Don't you worry about it. It's Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight, 747-228-2051. I'll be back with more of your phone calls after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas. Introducing the new Surfer Music app. Listen, Fade or not, you know I love my music. This is my go-to for all things notes. The Surfer app is a brand new concept in music listening. Surfer is free, providing unlimited access to thousands of live streaming radio stations. Surfer is an exciting, interactive listening experience. Discovery and surprise are built right in. Surfer is your destination to discover and rediscover great live streaming music. It features high-quality audio streams, free access to music from thousands of live streaming radio stations, unlimited listening, unlimited skipping. You get a music visualizer, and you can also select your favorite channels. Get it at the Apple App Store or Google Play. Just search Surfer Music or click on the Surfer banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Go back, Lee Tappy.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. And purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with, you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
You're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernight by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. Let's go straight back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Old Jimmy.
What's up, Brett?
I'm liking that sweatshirt you're wearing.
Yeah, man. An alien brought it to me.
Oh, that's a trip.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Mr. Jimmy.
What's cracking?
This ties into the last caller when he was asking about, who's in it for the right reasons. And it ties into what I was originally going to call in for. There's something that it has been super hard for me to keep quiet about this for many, many months now, but it's already been made public. Our good friend, Costa McCrease, he has a documentary that's about to start being filmed about him and his the People's Disclosure Movement and all the work he does with CE5 and just getting people to realize not to rely on the government for disclosure, but to bring it out themselves. And so his documentary is going to start filming soon, and I'm super stoked. He's bringing me and Lindsay out to Shasta in June to do one of his CE5 retreats. So I would encourage everyone to look into that. He's not paying me to say this. He doesn't know I'm saying it, but Costa's been a big part of my journey for many years. So I'm pretty stoked about this, and I think he's one of the good guys that's in it for the right reason.
Yeah, and he is, and I look forward to this documentary, and he has influenced so many. When we started this show, way back in the beginning, not only Renee, one of our producers here, not only Renee, but so many others of the community had hit me with Costas. You've got to check out Costas and his wife and what they're doing in the CE5 and what they're doing with their project around the world and the different groups that they've got going on. He has influenced many in a very positive way. And he has his approach and his techniques to getting the CE5 protocols in place and then going out and making contact. And his work is extraordinary. So I totally agree with you. One of the things that Frank had said, which I think, touched a nerve with a lot of different people. I was just watching Twitter light up. When ufology itself, when you are a researcher in ufology, most of them have a full-time job. And I can point at so many. They all have a full-time job. If you need to do something to help support your research, and it's not necessarily, you're not going to make any income off of book sales. That's a break-even thing or losing money. And if you could pull in income from a YouTube channel or from selling T-shirts or hats or anything to supplement what you are doing to help move the agenda forward, that's just parts of the puzzle, and many have to do stuff like that, and none of it is huge money. It just helps, it helps with plane tickets or research or helping getting your book written, helps pay the bills and everything else. That's all that it is. I don't think if you're going to go out there and talk about people that are merchandising for money, to drive a very fancy car and pay for there's only like one out there that I think would be in that category, and that would be Tom DeLonge. Everything else it's such a very small scale. That's it. And I'm talking about anybody out there. You have Linda and Richard that, have their merchandise. Everybody has a little merchandising going on. You have merchandising going on that helps support what you're doing in the music world. And that's just part of the game these days, so, but you're absolutely right. Keep me posted. Tell Costas that I said hello, and we've got to get him back on the show here real soon.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I've been talking to him pretty regularly, so I'll pass that on to him. And Jimmy, I want you to know there's a couple key pieces of advice that you gave me over this last weekend. One of the big ones is in full motion.
Good. And we'll talk about that off of the air, okay?
Yeah, yep. All right.
Mr. Larson.
Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yeah, thank you so much. That is Inquire Within, everybody. We just spent a weekend together here in Los Angeles, and it was so much fun hanging out with Hypocrisy. And not only did we hang out, I mean, we did lunch, we did dinner, we did a sound check. We were able to, we were security, we were the video crew, the photographers. It was just so much fun. And there you go, Inquire Within, an incredible day. And his new album is pretty dang cool. So just follow Inquire Within right there on Twitter, Inquire Within Official. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey there, Jimmy. My name's Lawson. How you doing?
How you doing, Lawson? Where are you calling from?
Doing pretty good. I'm from Denver. I actually called 2 weeks ago. I had that ghost story for you at the very end of the night.
Okay, I remember that. So how you doing?
Pretty good. I just want to call back and kind of tell you more about those experiences and if you wanted to hear about some of them.
Okay, give me one. Give me the next best one.
Well, actually, I was going to say about these stories. I know there's a lot of people interested in the paranormal, and before I get into the story, I wanted to say where this took place. I didn't say that last time. took place in this small town outside of Nashville called Adams, Tennessee.
Okay.
And the legend that surrounds that place, it's this legend called the Bell Witch, because that was the name of the plantation owners at the time that owned this lot of land that I eventually ended up living on. And the whole area is riddled with Indian burial graves from the Trail of Tears. And on my property, there were actually 4 Indian graves really close to the house. And so I lived there for about 5 years or so. And over that course of time, every member of my family, any friend, any colleague, anybody that came to this place, they visited once and only once. There would be something that would happen to them that would utterly terrify them into such a state that they would never tell us what had happened. They would just immediately get up and leave. And what freaked us out was that we didn't have all these experiences at first. Other people were getting them. And then one night I was coming home from school, and this is when I was in my college days, and I'm dropping my hamper off at the front door, and I'm leaning down to kind of place it on the floor. I've got my backpack on, so I've got all this weight on my shoulders, and as I'm turning, as I'm sitting this huge bag down, I look over in the corner, and all the lights are on in the house, but there is a void of light sitting in the rocking chair a few feet away from me. And I describe it as a void of light because it wasn't a shadow. It was almost like the blankness of light was actually pulling in the light around its edges. And as it became more and more in the center of my view, less in the peripheral, all of a sudden it sort of blurred. It kind of vanished for a second or two. And as I was pressed up against the door, because I rocked my body back, just so terrified of what I had just seen, and it appeared again, and this time its head had lifted up, and I could tell it was like long black hair hanging down the silhouette anyways. That's what it looked like. And I'm there by myself. My parents have both gone out of town for like business at that time, and so I'm completely stranded alone in this really crazy house. And this thing is just staring at me, and it's like time stops. I go into full fight or flight. I do not know what's happening. And right as I'm about to finally just break down, I can't take it anymore. This thing steps a little closer to me and drops this dark object, and it looks like a book, like it had been sitting in this rocking chair reading one of my family's, treasured books or something. And right when that happened, it vanished again, and I saw this shade, this sort of shadow kind of shimmer across the next room over against the wall. And at that point, I didn't know the dog was back inside at this point, but it's our big old golden retriever. She gets up on the couch, poltergeist style, and starts barking at the wall, starts barking at the picture, trying to claw down the picture and knock it down. And she starts whimpering and whimpering. All the hair on her sides starts standing up. I've never seen that on a dog before. Like the sides of her body, all the hair were just rigid, standing up. She was snarling and whimpering at the same time. And at that moment, I didn't think it would get any worse. But she started barking, and I realized quickly why. And it's very hard for me. You can probably tell my voice is shaking a little bit. It kind of brings you back to this place, but I want to, it's kind of cathartic to tell this to people. There was pounding all around the house. And I started hearing that accompanied with like what sounded like a legion of people running around this house, beating on it, slamming and like knocking stuff over and things. And we also on our driveway, because it was this long dogleg sort of property, we had this really long driveway coming down to it. And because of that, we'd never hear when vehicles would be coming down. So we had a car detector that let us know anytime the UPS guy or whoever was coming down. That thing had a sort of beep alarm inside the house when something would move past it. And it was going off like a machine gun. And as it kept going, it went on for maybe close to an hour, this pounding, and I'm just sitting in the middle of the house with the dog curled up on my lap, not knowing what to do, what to think, or even if I should think. I was just completely catatonic, shut down. and the lights started, during that time, the lights were kind of going up, then down, then up, then down. They went off momentarily for a moment, then they went all the way up, and then about half of them like blew up in the sockets. When we lived in
You
that
had
house,
exploding light bulbs.
Yep. Something happened to make these things discharge, and I remember the sound of the glass shattering and falling to the wooden floor, mixed in with this very large, like cavernous almost, just doom, 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 all the way around the house, just this rhythmic sort of thing. And that might have been one of the most terrifying nights of my life, because it didn't let up for hours. And after that, I was profoundly changed. And it's just this small area out in the middle of Tennessee, a town of like maybe a couple hundred people, maybe close to 1,000.
Who lives in
one ever hears.
Who lives in the house now?
Nobody. This is something that was actually very. I still don't have words for it. After my family moved out of that house, 3 months later, we were in the Tennessee River Valley. I think it was like 1,000-year floodplain. 3 months after we moved out of this house, it was wiped off of the face of the earth. Not even the foundation was left over. The waters got up to like way above the tree lines and just wiped everything out.
Wow.
And I'm so happy for that.
Yeah, totally. And did any of this follow you to Colorado?
Every once in a while, I'll kind of meet somebody who's maybe heard the story of this area of the world. But fortunately, no, it hasn't really followed me since.
That's really good news. That's really good news.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty frightening. And I guess it was meant to be, right? The floods come along and wiped it off, and now nobody lives there, so nobody is experiencing this. But that sounds pretty terrifying. It's almost a movie. You know, you should think about writing all of this stuff down, and if you think about it,
I'm thinking of doing that.
Yeah, if
publishing it.
If it was a 2-hour experience, well, then it's a 2-hour movie. So you should think about that, Lawson. And thank you for calling back in and sharing that with us.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too. Man, I was getting scared. That was pretty intense. Yeah, you know, if you think about it, if you write it down, if it's a 2-hour experience and you just write everything down, it's a 2-hour movie, right? It's a full book. Think about that. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, it's Liam again.
Hey, Liam, how are you?
I'm doing great, back on the road.
Right on, man. You're trucking. What state are you in?
Right now I'm in Houston, Texas.
You're in Houston. What's on your mind tonight, Liam?
Well, a bunch of the guys and I were talking about, the History Channel and how all of a sudden they got onto this UFO and alien kick. You know, Blue Book, UFO hunters, whatnot. And despite their lack of knowledge on it, I think there's an alternative motive. I think they're starting to get the word out. What? You know, in the common vernacular.
Right. Well, they've been doing, what Ancient Aliens now is, 13 seasons?
Right. Yeah, I think it's becoming more mainstream, because I remember back in the 90s when we would listen to art, it was fringe. You were weird. My dad used to tell me that all the time, but now it almost lost its specialty, or it lost that. It was something that belonged to us almost. You know what I mean? That actually took the subject. It's something that we didn't take for granted. We were serious about it, and then now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, and it's like, well, who invited you to the party?
Well, if you go back, this is what is really funny. If you go back and listen to the early Art Bell shows, you go back to 93, right? 92, 93. If you go back that far and listen to when Art first talked about, when he first found out about Roswell. Art didn't know anything about Roswell, right? And you listen, and you go back and you listen to those shows, and you listen to how Art is learning and asking questions. It was pretty fascinating. So all of that stuff, and it goes back to Madman Markham, or you go to the Area 51 caller, for instance, or Bob Lazar and Area 51, because, you know, Art's living out in Pahrump, Nevada, right? Not that far from Area 51, Las Vegas. And the most of these subjects that we know pretty intimately well today, you know, Roswell, because of guys like Don Schmidt and Stanton Friedman, these are all subjects that we, like you said, you know, today we take for granted. We know it really, really well. But back then with Art, there was a genuine innocence to it, because Art didn't know everything. In fact, Art didn't know anything about the UFO subject. It was handed to him. And I'm glad that it happened the way that it did, because Art was able to take his show that was a local, you know, Las Vegas show, taking it national at a time when there was nobody else doing it. And Art, you know, learned about these subjects right along with his audience. And there's a certain innocence there. I totally agree with you. You know, we owned it, right? Now, the community was 10 million, you know, a night listening to the show. It wasn't a small community. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. We owned it. And it was a magical, magical time.
Right. You know, it was... you know, that's when I started listening to him. It was by freak accident. I was in Colorado Springs playing with my grandfather's radio.
I did the same thing.
You know?
I did the same thing.
And I was like, oh, who's this guy? And then he kept talking and talking. And I was like, wow, I really like that. But in Florida, we didn't get that.
Yeah, I used to.
Not until
I was driving around one night and just happened to catch it, because I always like to listen to sports radio and talk radio. And I found Art, and I remember whatever, it doesn't matter what the conversation was about. And as a matter of fact, I think it was about ghosts. But anyway, I pulled into my garage, and I sat down in my garage. I didn't want to turn off the radio. And I didn't even know what station I was on, right? And I just sat there, and I listened, and then finally, for like an hour, right? And it was probably midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I went upstairs and I tried to find it on my stereo, my big stereo. And I couldn't find it. I had lost it. And I remember the next night I went down and my car was still on that radio station. I was like, oh, yeah, that guy from last night. And that, you know, just like everybody else, you know, I wasn't the only one that happened to. You know, it was going on across the country, you know, this show that suddenly popped up, you know, on AM radio, and it grabbed everybody. And I was one, you were one, and here we are today.
Well, I got a serious question for you. Where do you think this is all going? What's the big picture?
In what regard?
Just in now the media is starting to get into it, because we all know how the media is, you know, is the trumpets for the government.
Yeah.
You know, in a lot of ways. Where do you think they're actually going with this? What do they actually... Because, you know, they use Hollywood to promote certain things to get you accustomed for what's going to happen. And it almost seems like they're trying to, you know, get the word out so it's not such a big shock.
Liam, I'll tell you where I think it's going. Remember this. The only reason a program is on television or on the radio is because advertisers are paying for it. And the reason why advertisers are paying for it, this is the circle. The reason why the advertisers are paying for it, and they are there, because there is an audience that is big, that is watching or listening to a particular program. Advertising comes in, and the companies that are paying for the advertising see an increase in their sales. It's the American way. You're a truck driver.
Right.
You know what supply and demand is in logistics, and it's no different than your truck getting filled up and getting delivered. It's the same cycle of things that happens with a program. So it is telling those advertisers and the network that this is what the audience is interested in at this point in time. And that's where this is going. The word of ufology and ET is expanding, and it is growing quickly. The questions about conspiracies and lost history and time travel and physics and the universe and planets and ET and visitations and UFOs, all of this now is fully in the public's conscious. And they want answers to this, and they're going to go watch the programming. And as long as there's an audience to support the programming, then they're going to continue with programming and continuing with creating new shows. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. The more that it happens, if you think about what Ancient Aliens has done for this community, whether you believe in Ancient Aliens or not, that doesn't matter. But those out there that have been interested in it now have a place to go. And it causes people to talk about it. So I'm fully engaged. And that's where I think this is going. Why? Something's going to tip the scales. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that incident or that moment or that evidence is, or when it's going to happen, or how it's going to happen. I don't know. I don't. And none of us do. But when it does, we're all going to be sitting back going, well, okay, here we go. You know, and that's it. I think that's where it's at. And we can all thank Art Bell for what he did back in the day to allow all of this to happen right now. I mean, he's a big, big part of it.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I was able to read Graham Hancock's book, Fingerprints of the Gods, because I heard about it on the radio. And that weekend, I went to Panama City Beach over to, one of the big bookstores and tried to find it. But in doing so, I also found a book called Conquest of a Continent by Madison Grant.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, totally mind-blowing. But, Jimmy, I got something for you.
That's what I'm talking about, Liam. Now get out there, drive safe, okay, my friend?
I'm sitting for the night, so... I'm good.
Thank you so much, Liam. Be safe and be well.
All right, thank you. You too.
It's a great phone call right there. Art Bell, man. Art Bell changed things. He did. Art Bell changed things. It's open lines. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. Be right back. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. And last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. Do you want to be an official Fadernight? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Introducing the new Surfer Music app. Listen, Fadernauts, you know I love my music. This is my go-to for all things notes. The Surfer app is a brand new concept in music listening. Surfer is free, providing unlimited access to thousands of live streaming radio stations. Surfer is an exciting, interactive listening experience. Discovery and surprise are built right in. Surfer is your destination to discover and rediscover great live streaming music. It features high-quality audio streams, free access to music from thousands of live streaming radio stations, unlimited listening, unlimited skipping. You get a music visualizer, and you can also select your favorite channels. Get it at the Apple App Store or Google Play. Just search Surfer Music or click on the Surfer banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Go Beckley Tappy.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by paranormal talk radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. I do want to hear from all of you. I want to remind everybody our 2019 Soul Tech Conference this year is over the July 4th weekend in Loveland, Colorado. That's right, at the Sunrise Ranch. Go to soultechgathering.com. The banners are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Look at the most amazing list of speakers and presenters and teachers this year at Soul Tech. There's that, and of course, a full schedule and food and lodging. You've got to get everything lined up, and we're going to take care of it all. Just go to soultechgathering.com. Let's get back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. It's Astro Andy.
Astro Andy, how are you?
Oh, I'm never better, to say the least.
What's going on, man?
Life. Everything just seemed to like hit me all at once like a freight train, and now I'm just slowly coming to terms with that.
Oh, right on, right on. So what's on your mind tonight?
I don't know. Anything. I was thinking AI, though. I like AI. It's an interesting concept.
Well, what's interesting is you called me, Andy. So what's on your mind about AI?
Oh, okay. What's on my mind about AI? Have you heard about the AI that can design things?
In what regard?
Like, in any regard, like engineering. Well, I watched a TED Talk so long ago about an AI that can design things such as like a drone body.
Sure.
Like coming up with the best drone body.
What I find interesting about that is, and it's getting better and better every single day, is that AI is starting to answer its own questions. So if it's designing something, so it's going to look at it and find a flaw in it, and then go and improve that flaw and do it. What is powerful about that and that approach is that in a real world sense, Andy, that you would have teams of engineers, of humans, of brains, and they're going to all go and try to tackle these solutions, where AI can now tap into all of the information across the world's computers and take all of that and figure out a solution. But they can do it like that, where normally it would take weeks or even months of design and testing, where AI now is able to find these very elegant solutions instantly. And then, this is where it gets scary. Once it learns how to solve a problem and a solution, then it goes and applies that back to itself. And the next time around, it's going to solve said issue instantaneously. Where we have, let's say, I'll just pull a round number out. Let's say we have 10,000 scientists, 10,000 brains that had to go to school for years to get their degrees. Now we are talking about tens of thousands of years of accumulated education, whereas AI has all of that at its disposal, and you don't have to do the human element of research. And AI now is computating and moving forward with all of their brain power at the drop of a hat. And very soon, and I'm talking about, it could be weeks, it could be months, and maybe a year or two, but it's going to pass us up. It's going to literally pass us up. And there's nothing that can be done about it. You know, how do we control it? How do we make sure that AI doesn't harm us and attempt to, what if AI has a question? And the question is, how to best protect the earth? Well, how to best protect the earth? Well, let's stop polluting. Who's polluting? Humans. Well, let's eliminate humans and earth will survive and nature will flourish. But they don't not necessarily understand the question, right? How to do this, right? It's a very scary situation where they may solve the world's problems because we're the cause of it. Right? I don't know how to eliminate murder, right? How to eliminate crime? Well, eliminate humans, right? I don't know, but that's where I'm at.
What if humans are the only ones giving it problems to solve? Therefore, why would a computer eliminate humans if they're giving it problems to solve?
That's that's exactly my point. Is do we only make AI as smart as? Look, there's a couple of different ways to look at this. One of them is general intelligence. General intelligence. And just enough intelligence for some basic problem solving, basic intelligence, general intelligence for robotics, and to construct things and build things in a factory. General intelligence. Or do you allow AI to take things to the next level? Or do we constantly control AI not to pass a certain point and just have some basic intelligence there? Don't allow it to have machine learning. Only give it task to do. And I think that's if we're going to curtail this, that's what we should do. But there's no AI police out there. Right now, what's going on at Sandia, what's going on at DARPA, what's going on at Google, what's going on at Facebook and MIT and Stanford, where these artificial intelligence engineers are moving forward as fast as they can. Why? I'll tell you why. Because Russia's doing the same thing. China's doing the same thing. Israel's doing the same thing. Japan's doing the same thing. And so is Spain and Brazil. They're all in the UK. Everybody is pushing. The winner of everything is going to be the one that conquers AI. And so we have to stay a step ahead of the other countries in the world. If we fall behind that, dude, they're going to walk all over us. AI will come marching in, and it'll be a bad situation, a bad one. Andy, thank you for the phone call, my friend. Keep looking to the skies and keep asking questions.
Thank you very much for your time, Jimmy. Look forward to talking to you sometime in the future.
Thank you, Andy. Be safe and be well.
I will. You too.
Thank you so much. That's a great phone call right there. I'm telling you, AI, the winner of the AI wars is going to end up controlling everything. And it's no joke. And so we have to constantly ask these questions, and what's going on at MIT and Stanford and robotics and intelligence and AI. And it's got to move forward at a very fast clip. And we don't know what's going on in the back rooms. We don't. We're not exposed to that. We're not exposed to what Google is doing or Facebook or any other big software giants out there that are just absolutely pushing this forward. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Jim from British Columbia.
Jim from British Columbia, from BC. How you doing, man?
Oh, really good. Great. Yeah. I hope my mode of speech, my accent is understandable to you. Now, okay, you know what I want to talk about is the Skinwalker Ranch?
Sure.
Would that be all right?
Yeah, absolutely. What's on your mind?
Okay. Well, I call that a spooky place, and I live in a mountainous area with forests and ocean and everything, and I go camping up in the mountains, and I found a place up there that's like the Skinwalker Ranch, okay? And apparently I drove through a portal in my truck, and I went up there into the mountains and camped and encountered an entity up there that they also had at Skinwalker Ranch. And it was a very strange thing at the time. That was be about 2002, and I couldn't tell anybody because it was too strange of a story, right? But then I started
wait. Hold on, Jim. Well, you can't move forward without telling us what happened. What did you see?
Well, a predator, which is what they call it at Skinwalker Ranch. It's an entity. I think there's many different kinds of entities. Like, I'm into the native culture, and they have classifications and names for all these things, right?
Right.
And I think there's a whole bunch of different kinds or classifications of these things, and there's cryptids and spirit animals and all this stuff. But the thing I saw up there, like, it was like the predator that they witnessed at the Skinwalker Ranch. So I went searching online for this thing, and I found now 7 other people who have experienced this thing, because you experience it. Okay, you encounter it, you interact with it. It's very, very bizarre.
What part of BC, Jim?
Near Sechelt, north of Vancouver, on the coast, kind of sparsely populated, sort of like an island, you know. And there's a pulp mill here, and a few industries, logging, and these mountains I go up into. They're all logged. It's active logging area and all that. So.
Like near Selma Park and Welcome Beach and Roberta Creek or Roberts Creek, over that area?
You're right in the place. That's where it is, yep.
Okay.
That's the place. Yeah, the forests are really spooky. And I have lots and lots of friends who've seen Sasquatch, and they've seen cryptids in the ocean, and UFOs rising up out of the ocean and flying away, and we got all kinds of sightings and stuff going on here. And now, okay, do you want to hear my experience with this predator thing?
Yeah, what happened?
Well, I drove up there, and it's about 4 miles up the hill from Port Mellon, British Columbia, which is a pulp mill there. It's about 4 or 5 miles up there, and I drove up this strange road that I've driven up before. I want to talk about the road later, but I drove up the road through the portal, and then I was up there camping, and at that time I wasn't aware of Skinwalker Ranch or portals or anything like that. I just went up there to camp, and it's an unusual place because there's no tracks, like no car tracks or dirt bike tracks or anything up there. Like, so it's like I'm the only person who's ever been there, sort of a thing. There's a road, but nobody's been on the road for 5 years, right? Because I do animal tracking and all that. So I'm up there. I go up there and I camped, parked my truck, and in the morning, one morning, I went up for a walk up a very steep scree field, it's called, a bunch of rocks. I climbed up there, and then I went into this old growth forest, wandered around up there, and I was in a real mood, like really spaced out foresty mood. And I wandered around up there for a couple hours in the fog and everything, and I came back towards my truck, and I came down the scree field. By this time, the fog had gone. It was a very clear day, and I walked down the scree field, focusing down at my feet with my walking stick, my hiking stick. And I came down that, and then I arrived on the flat old road right in front of my truck bumper, right? I stopped there, and then I noticed some bushes shaking very close to me, like this is 6 feet away from me. These bushes were all shaking, right? And I thought, there's a squirrel in there, like, or a little small animal, a little bird or something shaking these branches, right? So I stepped forward and I took my hiking stick, which is a very stout, inch and a half diameter stick, and I jabbed it into the bushes, right? And then all of a sudden the bushes started shaking in a big circle, like a 2-foot diameter circle. Everything was just shaking and vibrating, and making a noise and everything. And then this circle of shaking vegetation took off up this hill, and this was a very steep bank. It was like at the angle of repose of soil, right? It was very steep. And this thing went up this bank at a tremendous speed, like a very fast running speed, probably as fast as a human could possibly run, but it was going up this really steep bank. And it disturbed the vegetation as it went. See, this is what I thought it was at the time was an invisible Sasquatch, because this predator critter, if you can read up on it, look it up on the internet. It's invisible. It's bipedal. It's quite tall. It likes to run. It runs fast. It likes to scare people, but it can't hurt anybody. This is what I've derived from all the stories I've heard. But this thing ran away from me up this very steep bank, and I'm looking into the hole it made in the vegetation, and I'm peering into this hole thinking, what's in there? But there's nothing there. There's a hole, but there's nothing in the hole. And that's exactly what this other hunter guy said, who encountered the same thing. It ran right past him in the forest, and he said this hole in the forest came running at him and went like right beside him and right past him, and he looked in the hole, and there was nothing in the hole.
How big? How big? You said it was almost like a Sasquatch, so I'm imagining something 6, 7, 8 feet tall.
Well, yeah, I'd say 7 probably.
Wow.
You know, it's taller than a human, and it runs really fast. Okay, and I've heard accounts of this in the Alps in Europe. I have 2 more accounts in British Columbia, and there's accounts from Skinwalker Ranch. You see, what happened at Skinwalker is a bunch of scientists were standing around near a lake, and this thing walked right through the middle of a group of people, and all their hair stood on end, and walked right through the group, and then down into the lake, and they saw it displace the water in the lake as it walked into the lake. And these are scientists, right? I'm a science guy myself, and they're looking at this, and they just had no idea what it was, right? So it's the same with these other people who've seen it. And one woman encountered one in British Columbia. She said, like me, she thought it was an invisible Sasquatch. So that's the size of the thing, and it's bipedal, and it runs fast. It always seems to want to run fast, and if you run away from it, it'll chase you, right? But in my case, I stepped right up to it and poked it with a stick.
Right. Did it make any noise?
It made noise. The bushes made noise, but it itself did not make a noise. But the funny thing is, apparently, I poked the thing, and it ran away from me. So at this very high speed that it always seems to want to run. And in all the accounts, well, maybe except the Skinwalker, this thing wants to run fast. You know, it's just what it likes to do. Now,
so what happened next, though? Did you chase it? Did it just, or you said you ran after it?
Later, I climbed up that bank looking for tracks, because I do animal tracking as well. And I climbed up that bank, which was very difficult. I had to use my stick and, make my way up this very steep bank. And I could not find any tracks, no. And it, I don't know, I don't know where it went, but it took off. But the thing is, there's all these similar accounts, right? And but the thing, then I began to put things together, right? And I realized later that I had passed through a portal every time I went up to this place. I went up there probably 4 or 5 times. I drove up this particular road.
And Jim, before we run out of time, because we're going to be headed towards a break here in just a second, what makes you think it was a portal?
Okay, well, because I drove up a road that is not there. It's not on any map. It's not on Google Earth. I asked all my friends. I got all kinds of friends who go up in the mountains. They're loggers and hikers and bird watchers. And we're all over these roads and mountains around here all the time, right? We know all the roads. And I went asking people if they had ever been up that road on the right-hand side of McNair Creek Valley. And everybody says, well, there's no road up there. It's just like almost vertical rock and all this stuff, right? And I can see it on Google Earth, but you can't find the road. So I went up this road at least 4 times. I drove up this road, but there is no road. I've been back looking for the road when I got a better 4-wheel drive vehicle. I went over there looking for the road, could not find it. I spent 2 or 3 days looking all over for this road, could never find it.
Was it west of Seashell, like Secret Cove, or was it over by Port Mellon?
The other way.
Yeah, by Port Mellon?
Very close to Port Mellon. It's right above Port Mellon, straight up the hill from Port Mellon.
Huh.
Yeah, and I've given out the location in detail because if anybody's interested in investigating another spooky place, there is a spooky place, man. Now, the reason I think I went through a portal is because, well, the one reason is nobody else knows of that road, and it's not on any maps. But another reason is when I was driving up the road, I kind of came around a bend going uphill, and then up fairly steep uphill. Then I'd look up ahead, and the road would get even steeper, like impossibly steep. So I just put the pedal to the metal on the pickup, and just went roaring. And then I would be hanging from the steering wheel. It's so steep that I was pulling myself up by the steering wheel, trying to see over the hood, but I couldn't see over the hood. This happened 3 times. I'm trying to see over the hood. I could not see over the hood. I'm looking at the sky with the engine roaring, and I go up, and for maybe 10 seconds, I cannot see the road. And then it kind of begins to level out, and then I can see again. Now that is the point where I'm pretty sure I must have passed through a portal, because the road apparently does not exist. Okay.
When was the last time? Yeah, I got to head towards a break here, Jim, and I want to thank you for the phone call. When was the last time you were up there?
2007.
And where do you live now?
Near Seashelt, Seashelt.
Man, Port Mellon's right next door to you. Why don't you go up there this weekend? Go up there this weekend.
30 kilometers.
What's that?
It was 25 miles from my place around on the highway.
Yeah.
So we don't usually go over that far, when I go up in the bush camping and hiking and stuff. I don't usually go over that far, just a few times. I've just been over there a few times.
Well, you should do a road trip and then report back to us, because if you have found a portal, you need to, let's see if you can repeat what had happened and then come back and talk to us about it. I did the same thing, but when I went back, I couldn't find it, right? But
yes, well, that's the thing. I went looking for it twice.
Yeah.
And could not find it. I drove all over the place. It's not that big of an area either.
No, it's not. It's not. And how many roads? I could
see the whole.
You know how many roads go out of Port Mellon? Like 2 going north, right? So you need to go back and find that for us and report back, Jim.
Okay, if I ever get through the portal again, I don't know if I'll get back out again.
I know, right? Right. Well, you know what? I'll be able to say, well, Jim, his last phone call was with us on this show.
Yeah, now he's gone.
He's gone.
You know what, though? There's intent involved, because the first time I went up there, I was looking for this place where a friend of mine saw a Sasquatch. My friend described to me where he saw the Sasquatch, and I thought, I'll go camping up there, right? And I had this intent of getting to this place where there were Sasquatch, right?
Right.
And there's something to do with the intent.
100%.
And other people say this too.
100%. And the same thing happens with UFOs. It's the same thing. It's all about intent, So, yeah, Jim, thank you for the phone. That is absolutely great. And, Seashelt, that whole area, Port Mellon, just north of British Columbia, it's remote. You have everything that's going on along the coastline. But once you jump off of that, you're by yourself. It's an incredible story. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Have a great night, Jim. Bye-bye. Behave. Nothing like a call coming in from the Great White North. It's a pretty remote area up there. I've spent some time up there. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. All right, more of your phone calls are next. After this short break, it is Thursday night. It is Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black, Thursday night, Fadernight. Open lines all night long. 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. Great calls tonight. Man, oh man, I love Thursday nights on Fade to Black. It is the best. And look, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Snowing in Flagstaff tonight. Eric, I guess you're in Flagstaff. There you go. You just posted a picture, a video of snowfall in Flagstaff, Arizona. Let's go straight back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Ed in Del Rio, Texas.
Who is this?
Ed in Del Rio, Texas.
Hi, Ed. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, Jimmy. Enjoying your program as usual. I just wanted to say that I'm relatively new to your program, but I'm 76 years old, and I initially got an interest in UFOs and UFO phenomenon back in the 60s when I read Eric von Daniken's book, Chariot of the Gods.
Sure.
And ever since then, I've had an undying interest in ufology and, I've always been interested in history and archaeology. I was a close follower of archaeological finds and historical events when I was a kid. And von Daniken's book just sparked my interest even more. And then, of course, Ancient Aliens came along on television, and I'm not much of a television watcher, but I was fascinated by the program. I've sort of lost I haven't really lost my interest in Ancient Aliens, but they've sort of gotten away from it. I think the course of the program is changing a little bit. But,
well, let me ask you this, Ed, if I may. You're 76 years old, right? You read Chariots of the Gods in 1968, 1969, and you're interested in history and the UFO subject. At that point in the late 60s, did you think that you would be talking to me in 2019 on the radio about the subject and not have the government talk about UFOs yet? Did you really think that 50 years would go by and no confirmation from the government or UFOs showing up in the sky? Pretty crazy, right?
And it is pretty crazy. You know, in the late 60s, I was just getting out of the Army. I'd been in Vietnam. And I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've seen a few things that perhaps were, to me, were strange and unexplainable. I'm not going to go into details at this time, but I can tell you one thing. Up until a few years ago, I went to Yosemite every summer for a week and camped out.
Crazy stuff going on up there. Yeah, no doubt. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's the real deal.
Definitely.
Yeah, Yosemite is the real deal.
My cousin's been going up there for about 30-odd years. I was living in California in the 80s and 90s, and I started going up there myself, like I said, every summer. And we would sit out at night and get back in our lawn chairs, lay flat, and watch the sky all night. Of course, in the meantime, we were also shooting the bears off.
Yeah, right. Well,
that's how we would spend our nights,
What do you at this point, you're not that much older than I am, but what is really great for you being 76 is you have seen a lot in your life, and I'm not quite there yet, but I certainly know that there is something going on. And for you, when you go to Yosemite, you're reading books, you're out there asking questions. Ultimately, Ed, what do you think is happening right now? Are we being visited? Is the government holding back information? Are you frustrated?
I have no doubt about it. And I'm reaching a point of frustration. I'm sick and tired of your lies.
I know, right?
I'm going to put it bluntly.
Right.
Because personally, I know better. I feel that I know better.
And that's why you called into this show, Ed. And are you ever going to get out to? Are you ever going to get out to a conference where you and I can sit down and talk one day?
I was thinking about the conference in the desert next month. I mean, there's one coming up soon. In May, is it?
Yeah, in May. Contact in the Desert. Yeah, out in Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Yeah, man.
I'm moving to Albuquerque later this month. Health reasons. I love the climate over there. And I don't know if I'll be able to make it out to the West Coast in May, but I'm going to try like heck to do it.
Well, and then right after that is our Soul Tech conference up in Colorado. And if you're going to be in Albuquerque, it's not that far from you.
That's even closer. Well,
yes, it is.
When would that be?
That's July 4th weekend.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Sounds great.
Ed, do me a favor. Enjoy the rest of your night, okay? Enjoy the rest of your night and have a great weekend.
And you also, I'm enjoying the program, and I will get some sleep immediately after you go off the air, although I fall asleep usually listening to Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it. Thank you so much, Ed.
You take it easy and keep plugging at it. I love it.
Thank you. No, you keep plugging at it, young man. Okay?
I certainly will. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. That's Ed from Texas right there. And 76 years young and still trying to get those questions answered. And I really, really appreciate that phone call, Ed. Thank you so much. And let's stay on these phones here. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Brittany Lindsay from British Columbia.
Hi, Brittany Lindsay from British Columbia. That's a mouthful. Hey, what did you think about that phone call from Seashell?
It's kind of why I called. It's pretty interesting. There are a lot of strange things happening in BC here.
I would totally agree.
I had a really weird experience in the summertime, so I thought I'd share it with you.
Yeah, what happened, Brittany?
Well, basically, me and my wife, we moved into an area of Powell River here where there's a lot of dense forest. There's about 50 acres of forest right behind our house.
Right.
And there's lots of bears and wildlife. So we went for a walk in the forest, and I've been studying Sasquatch for some years, and I was really a big fan of Lloyd Pye's work. And I always believed in the Sasquatch, but I never thought I'd actually have an encounter with one, especially right behind my house. But it happened, and it kind of blew my mind and scared the living shit.
Yeah, okay.
It was terrifying.
Hey, Brittany, what part of BC?
Powell River.
Which river? Oh, Powell River. So
yes.
Up north of Seashell. So you're getting up there a little bit.
Yes.
Got
yeah,
you.
It's quite isolated up here.
Yes, it is. Powell River, little tiny town too as well. Okay, so what happened?
Well, we were walking in the forest, and I basically saw something that a lot of Sasquatch researchers find, and it's like a marker that the Sasquatch apparently create. They take large trees and make a teepee formation out of it.
Right.
And we were walking along the path, and we saw this teepee formation, and it was made out of these huge trees. Like, no human being could have done it. It was pretty big, and there's no logging or anything going down on this forest. Like, it's very dense woods. No one goes down there.
Right.
And so when I saw that, I knew right away what that was. And I was like, okay. I'm like, maybe we should turn back. It doesn't really feel right.
Right.
And then we looked, and the whole pathway is completely blocked off by these giant trees. Like, there's just no way of getting through. So my wife and my friend were just standing there. And then I heard this rustling in the bushes right in front of me, like 3 feet away from me. And
Shut up.
I kind of stood there, like, thinking that maybe it might have been a cougar or a bear, because we get tons of those here.
Right.
I can't even believe it. A Sasquatch creature stood up right in front of me, and he must have been about 8-9 feet tall. And he was not a dark brown, but more of a lighter amber colored Sasquatch. And he just looked right at me, and I booked it. I was 2 months pregnant with our daughter, so I guess instinctively I wanted to get the heck out of there.
Right.
But we've been back through there, and the teepee formation has been taken down. The pathway is still blocked, and yeah, no one really goes in there anymore.
Wow, that is crazy. I mean, I'm serious too. That's pretty nuts. Now, what about your wife and your friend? There was 3 of you, right, that were there.
Yes.
Did they see anything?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It was.
How long ago was this?
That was just last summer.
Wow. And you went back up there. The TP is down, but you're crazy enough to go back, which I got to give you credit for.
Oh, I was just, like, when you run away from something like that, you kind of regret it after.
Totally.
You just instinctively kind of get out of there. I wanted to go and see, like, just to confirm.
And of course, the obvious question, you didn't take a picture.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. Wow, that is just
when it
nuts.
happens so quick.
I know. I know. Same thing with me. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Seashell, Powell River, when you get that far up, first off, Vancouver, people think it's a big city. It's not. I mean, it's nice and it's good, but and once you get outside of Vancouver, the next biggest city over there is like Vancouver, North Vancouver, right? Yeah. But it's not Kelowna, or you know what I mean? These are very, very, very small, remote communities.
Yes, it is. I mean, in order to get to Powell River, you have to take an hour ferry ride, drive 2 hours, and then take another ferry ride.
That's right.
So it's so hard to get here.
Wow, that is incredible. Thank you. Hey, Brittany, be safe and do me. Can you get back up there? Do you still live up there?
Yeah, it's literally just like a 2-minute walk in the back of my house.
Wow. What about Goat Island? Have you ever been up there?
I haven't been there, but I've heard some pretty surreal things about that.
Yeah,
place.
I've heard things about Goat Island too. And if you live right there, yeah. Okay, so we've got our remote producer, Brittany, up in Powell River up there seeking Sasquatch. Have your camera ready though. You've got to.
I will this time.
Thank you so much, Brittany. Enjoy the rest of your night and weekend.
You too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. What great phone calls tonight here on Fade to Black. It is Fadernight, 747-228-2051. Thank you for that phone call, Brittany, and go up there and get it done. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Good evening, Mr. Church. My name is Sir Mark Brubeck.
Sir Mark Brubeck.
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Well, many things, but the reason why I called in this evening is because of so many people having respect for you, including myself, and all the great topics that you have, that I wanted to share with you. Maybe I could pick your brain sometime about this book I have that was written by the founder of the Bavarian Illuminati.
Okay, which book is that?
Diogenes' Lamp.
You've got that. Okay, so have you read the whole thing?
I helped put it out.
Oh, you helped put it out. Oh, when you say my book, you literally mean my book.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dr. Weisstoff's book, to be sure, brother, but at the same time, yeah, I paid some money for a translator, and it was what seemed to be the first time in history that his work was translated into English.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm up against a brick wall and confused at the fact that it seems to have millions of hits and in movies and blogs and on YouTube and books and talked about in all our circles and the different communities, and yet I have this book which I've been trying to reprint. I don't know if do you have it only? Did you get the Masonic Book Club edition?
Do I? I'd have to go back and look. I'd have to go back and
I guess
look.
that was the only one that came out, so it probably was the blue leather gold embossed cover, but it's been incredibly difficult to even find anyone interested in putting it out, maybe as a paperback. And seeing as though it's in all these Masonic libraries,
right?
You know, and I would like it for the average person, you know, to be able to read it.
Get a hold of Richard Dolan. That's it. You know, reach out to him and tell him you've got it ready to go. You've got the rights to it, and it's been translated.
Yes, yeah, I own the translation.
Okay, get a hold of Richard Dolan, and if it's ready to go. And you can just tell Richard, you know, you can write him, Keyhole Publishing at, I think it's at Gmail, but you can go to his website and Richard Dolan Press, and just tell him you were just on Fade to Black, and Jimmy said to contact you, and tell him what you got. That's what I would do. He's cool.
Awesome. Well, he is, and thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that.
You have a good night, Mark. Behave and be well.
You too. Will do. Many blessings.
Thank you. And yeah, I'd read that. I would absolutely read that. Let me line up a couple of things here, and because I'm manning the phones myself tonight. And there you go, man. Everything. It's so funny. I watch these phone calls cycle through. Now, if you hear yourself go on hold and it goes silent, it's because you're being put on hold. Okay, that's all it is. That's all it. Look at this, just flooding in. Okay, I'm putting you on hold. Don't go anywhere. All right, let's jump over to here. Okay, all right. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jimmy. This is Karen from Seattle.
Hi, Karen. Troublemaker.
Hello.
Man, I knew it. I knew it. It's Fadernight. Karen's going to call in and cause trouble. How you doing? What do you think about all these calls coming in from Vancouver tonight, British Columbia? Seashell.
Yeah, we are awash in Sasquatch to this part of the continent, let me tell you.
Say that 3 times really fast.
I will not, because I'll mess that up.
I know, right? What's on your mind tonight, Karen?
Well, if you don't mind, I would like to finish the story that I started about my experience last week.
Karen, it's all you.
I will refresh you.
Okay, no, it's okay.
So
we've got 6 minutes. Can you get it done in 6 minutes?
I can do anything.
Okay.
So last week I had told you about, you know, when I was a little girl, saw that red ship outside my door.
Yep.
Or outside our house door, right? Okay, and Daddy, please don't let them find me. Please don't let them find me.
Yep.
Okay, so
yep.
That memory, every single morning when I woke up for the next 53 years, nothing else ever happened. 53 years, it's the first thing I think of every single morning.
Sure.
It doesn't change. None of the details change. It's the exact same thing every single day. Fine. Last August, and you remember August in the Pacific Northwest, it was smoky and hot, and there was no sleeping. And it's hard for me to wake up in the morning anyway. I need like 2 nuclear bombs and a hand grenade to get up out of the bed.
Right.
So I don't wake up easily. So on this August morning, I'm sleeping. It was a weekend, and I shoot up out of the bed like I had been shocked by 100,000 volts of electricity. I jump out of the bed. I scream, "Holy bleepity bleep, what was that?" And all of a sudden this movie starts to unwind in my head about why I didn't want to be found by the red ships. And I was in the point of view of not me, but of another being who lives on a world that is very affluent, lots of prestige, everybody's wealthy and comfortable, no war, and supposedly no crime. And this is a youngish being. I would say, like, in an equivalent to us would be like early 20s, surrounded by about 5 acquaintances or friends, walking through this big marketplace. And there was this feeling of extreme contempt and boredom, and the closest equivalent I can come to is bored, dangerous youth. We've got enough of that in our society today. I think you know what I'm talking about. And the next thing that I saw as this movie is just at breakneck speed going through my head. This small group of individuals goes behind this shop. There is an older, like a senior citizen female of their kind, coming behind their shop, turned to them, greeted them, and the being through which I was seeing this unfold grabbed this elderly lady, I guess, by the throat and killed her.
What?
And immediately there were security forces all around, and they were quickly taken into custody and spirited off. And there was a whole lot of information coming really, really fast about how the culture had dealt so harshly with crime that there wasn't any crime anymore, and what crime there was quickly judged and the criminals done away with. So this being goes through a trial in front of a tribunal. The judge is the father of this being. This being thinks, that's my father, I'm going to get away with this, and doesn't get away with this. And there was such a feeling of overwhelming panic that came through this dream. Their method of punishment is to undergo a process by which the consciousness and the emotions and the spirit, basically the soul of the person, is removed, is separated from the body. The body dies, and the consciousness is placed in containment.
You need to write a book, Karen. You need to write a book. You need to. I've only got 20 seconds, so really quick, sum this up for me.
Okay.
And the audience.
The whole thing is that ship was the security force that brought this entity to this planet. She got away and did not go into the person that she was supposed to go to, because the person she was supposed to go into was going to die in a couple of days.
Right. Wow.
Instead, she got away. She managed to get away because there was a malfunction on that shuttle, and she found the closest, weakest thing she could find, which was a little kid with a cold in bed, which was me, and she came into me. But she didn't have enough energy to influence or do anything through my life. But when she unspooled all this stuff down into my brain, it was the last thing she ever did.
Wow.
And she said, I am telling you this before I go, what happened?
And I thought you were going to say, and you're going to call in to Fade to Black and tell this story.
Nope.
That didn't happen?
Nope.
Hey, Karen?
Nope.
Karen, you are amazing.
Yeah.
You are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Now, enjoy the rest of your night and weekend.
I will. You do as well.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much.
All right.
And yeah, thank you, Karen. It's going down up there in the Pacific Northwest. No doubt about it. This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Thursday night, Fadernight. We got one last segment left of your phone calls. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll be right back. Putting you on hold. Stay right there.
Hey, what up, y'all? Sugar Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously. Go Beckley Tappy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Fade to Black. One segment left on this cold and rainy night here in Burbank. Fadernight, best night of the week. Let's go straight back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Randy from Buffalo, New York.
Hey, Randy from Buffalo, New York. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
It's Thursday night, man. It's the best night of the week. What do you think, Randy?
Hell yeah. Hey, I just had a couple things I wanted to throw your way and see what you thought. So I hear a lot about artificial intelligence. And as you probably know, Elon Musk recently has been talking about that.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's talking about how he feared it at first, but now he feels like if you can't beat it, join it.
I would say that is the case. What?
Yeah.
You know, when you go back, we'll get to your second point in just a second, but dealing with this, if you go back and check out some of his statements and interviews that he has done, he didn't do it just once. He did it quite a few times. He looked like he was panicked, right? He had he was like, he had turned white when he was talking about artificial intelligence. And we're talking about a guy that is in a position of high technology. He owns technology companies. He comes from a technology background. And so with all of that, he knows if anybody's going to, have a pretty valued opinion on this, it's Elon Musk, and we need to stop and listen. And so when he scared the crap out of us with his thoughts about artificial intelligence, we listened. And now it seems that, and I agree with you, that he may have flipped a little bit. What made him flip? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. Why suddenly, he's asking us to heed his warnings, right? And now it seems a little bit different. Is somebody telling him to change his message? What's causing him to flip? I totally agree with you. I think maybe it was that weed that he smoked on Joe Rogan. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
This segment's right to my other point is, he's now in these inner circles where we can only, wish or dream or wonder what gets said, in these higher echelon levels of individuals in the world. And you look at things like our own government, and we all know the deception is easily you could see, it's not hard to pick apart that our government's lying, and they obviously are hiding things from us. And let's go back to our old days of why can't we trust that maybe the government might be lying for a good reason, or maybe these things are, religion, maybe other life, maybe there's something that we can't comprehend. And maybe we should, if we trusted, our religious leaders or our government officials, and we help them by trusting them, and instead of looking at them as the enemy, if we look at them as our protector, our friend, our leaders, at least maybe we can have some kind of a segue to disclosure or something like that.
Well,
I don't know.
Randy, let's look at the obvious for a second. Elon Musk owns his own space agency. It's like, wait a minute here. So you're right. Who is he exposed to? Who is having conversations with him? That's a scary thought. And not only here in the United States, but from all around this planet. Dude is going to Mars very, very soon. So do we control the narrative? Do we control Musk? Or is he completely on his own, and is he uncontrollable? Well, I would say that, okay, all right. I think that's what we're all hoping for, that we've got a renegade privateer out there that now owns his own space agency, and he is going to be on our side of the fence. This isn't a government-controlled program. Or is it? Is everybody controllable, no matter what you are at what level? I don't know. I would like to say that Elon is his own man. Started his own, electric car company and bucked Detroit and all of the if you think about it, going up against General Motors is a pretty bold thing to do. Well, he did that. And Tesla is successful no matter what. And now we have SpaceX. Look, let me tell you something, Randy. If you ever get a chance to come out here to L.A., go down to Hawthorne, California, and look at the SpaceX building. You have never seen anything that big in your life. It is right. Take the biggest thing that you've ever seen and times 1,000. And you might be somewhere, and I am not exaggerating. That building it's like blocks tall, blocks deep, and blocks long. And you just look at it, and it's high tech and it's beautiful, but somebody owns that, and that guy is Elon Musk. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, can somebody like that be controlled? Well, probably. Probably.
But is he being controlled by the harsh truth that there is something we're not ready for, or something that is a threat, or something that's just so scary that even the people who think they're ready, maybe we're not?
Well, yes, and that is the obvious question, and I can answer that. When you, what controls the world? It's very simple. It's money, and it's the banking system. That's it. Underneath the banking system is military and countries. But what controls the countries and the state actors and the military and the wars and power and the economy? Money, right? So if you're
power.
If you're gonna jump into the big money game like Elon Musk, Elon still borrows his money. Who when you're Elon Musk, right? You're Bill Gates. I'm not talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just, he's pocket change, right? When you get into the real power money, right, and you're going to borrow from somebody, that's somebody that's got more juice than you. Think about that for a second, and that's who's controlling the narrative. That's who has the real answers. And it's a scary thought, and that's it. That's the bottom line, Randy.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. How can we beat that?
You
as a
can't.
Community, as a UFO community, you got to just join it.
You can't.
We don't have time in our lifetime to go against these guys to try to fight for disclosure. No, we gotta embrace the power system that's there. I think New World Order, maybe that would be good. I don't know.
Look, no matter what, and there are people out there that are listening right now that I could potentially piss off by saying something like this, but I'll be honest with you. No matter what, you still got to ride the back of the big bear. No matter what, you got to play by somebody else's rules. You can be a rebel all your life, but you're still playing by the rules. You got to play inside of the fence. And that's really the truth. I have to do it on this show. Look what happened to Alex Jones. He went out there and tried to play outside of the fence a little bit, and he got slapped around. And that's really the truth. There's nothing he can do about it. And it's the same thing with somebody like Elon Musk or a small pawn in the chessboard like Donald Trump. I went years ago when I was a kid, I read The Art of the Deal. And I looked at Trump, and he's somebody that I've followed all the way along, the thing. And the whole concept that he laid out there, that I'm a rebel, I do my own thing, I play by my own rules. Nobody plays by their own rules. Nobody. I don't care who you are. Look at Julian Assange, right? WikiLeaks, power broker, controlling the narrative. He's holed up in a bedroom in an embassy because he got beat. He can't do anything, and it's really the truth. No matter what you have, there's somebody above you. And that's the truth.
That's right.
Randy, enjoy the rest of your night. Hey, and I'm not trying to be dark guy here. There's a way to play the game. You just got to play it inside of the fence here a little bit so you don't get shut down, right? You just play by the rules a little bit, and that's what Elon has to do and anybody else. I have said 1,000,000 times, and it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. You run for president of the United States, right? the most powerful person in the world, and you get elected, and you go through the inauguration, and you go into the Oval Office, and you sit down at the desk, and you're arranging your desk, your pen holder, right, your little mouse, and here's the phone, and you're arranging everything, and all of a sudden the phone rings. Ding, 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 ding. You pick it up. Yo, what's up? This is the President. Yeah, and this is your boss. Right? Yeah. And I'm serious. Yeah. And you always see the newly elected presidents go into the Oval Office smiling, waving. Hey.
No, they come out scared.
They come out white, right? They come out ashen.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you. And it happened to Donald. I'm telling you.
That's right.
It's a fact.
That's right. He said it. He said, it's scary what's out there. You nailed it, man.
Man.
We're not ready.
Enjoy the rest of your night and weekend, Randy. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.
Great phone call right there. Buffalo, New York, Randy. And, I'm trying to get all of these calls in. Let me do this. I'm gonna do this here, right here. And then I've got just a few more. Okay, you know what? I'm going to see if I can get, that's it. That's all I'm putting on hold. Everybody that's on hold, you stay right there, and I'll see if I can get everybody in. Okay, so let's go over here, and let's say the magic words. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling? You're live.
Hey, Jimmy. Hello?
Yes.
This is Woody.
Woody, turn me down in the background.
Yeah, I got you. I wasn't ready. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Woody. What's on your mind?
Yeah, listen. This is my first time calling you, man. I love you, dude.
Thank you, Woody.
You know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to say that I was stationed in New Mexico, and I guess I want to start by saying that I was stationed in New Mexico in around 85, 88 era. And I used to, because I know you're a UFO dude, and I used to work this old radar system, and it had old wheels like on a Navy ship, small old wheels like you turn them. But anyway, I would lock on. My mission, my job was to lock on to. I was a weatherman, and I would lock on to missiles taking off in the white sands, and for weather purposes, I would track planes, and once I spotted them on the radar, I would lock onto it. Occasionally, I would lock onto something, and the wheels would spin so fast, and I never knew what that was. I couldn't understand it then, but I'm kind of understanding it now. And the other thing that I wanted to speak on was the portals. If you follow David Paulides,
yes,
his latest book talks about portals and how portals move, and how the electromagnetism causes these portals to exist. The Bermuda Triangle, the disappearances in the national parks, they all tie in together.
Sure they do. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that as a fact, but one thing that permeates through all of this in our community, whether it's time travel or ghosts or the paranormal or UFOs or Bigfoot or the Bermuda Triangle, all of this is connected. You start to find that out as you travel down this road. It's all connected. Why it's connected, I don't know. I can connect the library down the street from the high school here in Burbank. I can tie that to the Great Pyramid and to Mars if I wanted to. Right? It doesn't. I could tie McDonald's into it. Everything is connected, and it's a very, very scary thought. Woody, once we figure out just figure out one thing, whether it's ghost or Bigfoot or UFOs, we figure that one thing out, and then everything else is just going to come right behind it.
Well, this is true, and I cannot wait for that discovery, man. Listen, I appreciate you, man. Like I said, I listen to you every night, and I love you, dude.
Thank you so much, Woody. Be safe and be well, my friend. First-time caller. Thank you so much.
All right.
That's a great phone call right there. And you know I love my first-time callers. Let's keep it going here. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Pasó?
Yes, you're live.
Señor, ¿cómo está?
Who's this?
Carlos from Long Beach. Carlos Roman.
Hey, man. Whoa. How are you?
Very good, very good. I've been waiting for a while, but patiently and happy to hear you, señor.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very happy and excited to share with you a quick story because I think you guys are about to finish the show, right?
Yeah, we're getting pretty close here, Carlos. I got to tell you, that one night that you and I hung out on the air was one of the funnest nights I've ever had on Fade to Black. That was a pretty amazing evening with you. Absolutely.
Really?
Well, you know it was. And
it
was
man. Okay. That makes me very happy to hear.
Well,
seriously, it's for me really, really one of the coolest things to be able to share things that I saved for a long time, as you may understand.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Sure.
And now you feel free because you're in another country, number one. And number two, there is a station like yours full of crazy people like me.
Right.
And, it's awesome to be able to not feel so crazy about it, right?
Absolutely, Carlos. Okay, what are you going to share with us tonight?
All right, well, I got you actually a pretty good one. You may remember already that I closed my previous story about when I finished working for the campaign of the Mexican ex-president.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. You were working with Vicente Fox. You were on the secret detail.
Yes. Oh my God! I'm so excited that you remember because this will help me explain a bunch of things in this quick little story that I have for you.
Okay, go ahead.
This one is not too much. This one is not too much about UFOs. This one is not things like that, but it's about interdimensional beings. And little by little, if I have the chance, I will share with you so many things. There is some sort of Mexican my labs that I can tell you about. Oh man, I have so much to share. But anyway, let me tell you about this little story. So when this campaign happened and Vicente won, I had the opportunity then to graduate and leave to New York. That was my biggest illusion and my goal finally, after accepting the Mexican military to pay for my scholarship. During that transition, I got requested to do something also odd and special, but I was very honored and I did. All the campaign, all the people that participated in the campaign with Vicente, whether it was a military guy, whether it was a politician, or whatever you want, became a secondary project, a secondary group that we call friendly, super cool, Amigos de Fox.
Okay, Carlos, you got to get out of the wind.
Yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm walking against it.
Yeah.
I'm at the bike path. I'm looking for UFOs right now, brother.
Yeah, sounds like it. Sounds like you made contact.
So it just sounds better like this?
Yeah, it does. Okay, so continue because we only have Carlos. I've only got 4 minutes.
I got it. Okay. Well, in that transition, these people made me, get with a ton of people that was in every way kind of famous in Mexico. People in the radio, artists, all these people to collaborate in the transition because Vicente won after 70 years from the previous party. So what's going to be a really hard transition.
Right.
So we try to make everybody polite, hey, get on the air and say the transition needs to be nice, guys. Come on, collaborate. So everybody that was famous did. In those days, I got the opportunity to start hanging out with a guy that was from Mexico. Okay?
Who was that?
This guy was Juan Ramon Sainz.
Okay.
This guy was the Jimmy from Mexico. This guy was getting calls all night, people talking about UFOs, but mostly, as you may imagine, because we were in Mexico, it's chupacabra shit.
Right.
Chupacabras and all that stuff. So this guy and I became super friends because he was asking me, hey, dude, what's about that you guys went to look for the UFOs and stuff? And I, asking permission, I was released to be able to tell him certain things. So we became very cool friends. Super cool. Like I feel like I have this opportunity with you. I felt with him. So we talk and talk. Here is the thing that I can tell you. This guy one day got a call from a dude from here, from El Monte, California.
Right.
This guy talked and say a horrible story, man, where he grew up being super poor, right? And he saw so many desperation in his family that he went rogue. He started doing, trying to get in contact with the devil and whatnot. Never happened. He couldn't do it. But he grew up always with this kind of hate and this kind of luring in his body.
Mm.
And then one day, he finally felt that he found some scriptures in Mexico that he could understand after even learning freaking Latin, man. And he made a freaking, how you call this thing? Like a shamanic ritual.
Right.
And he made contact with. He made contact with an entity. And the entity told him, hey, look, first of all, get it together. I'm not a demon. I'm an interdimensional being, and you freaking open something, and I'm here. What the hell you want? Like that.
Wow.
So this guy told him, well, you know what? I'm seeing suffering in my family, and I'm tired of this, and I just wanted to make pact with the devil and la chingada. So this guy was laughing. I can tell you quick two things. The guy was a black gentleman and had black eyes, all of it. No white part on your eyes, right?
Right.
So this guy told him, look, to be able to really help you with what you want, you actually have to do something for us too.
No
and he
kidding.
Explained to him
and what was
I'm telling you, this guy.
And what was
this
it?
This guy a ritual where he had to sacrifice somebody from his own family.
Shut up! And don't tell me he did it.
Well, you want to hear it? I'm telling you, brother, this guy did it.
What?
Okay? He did it. And he did it in a magnificent way. He planned everything. He selected for 2 years. He had to think who he was going to do that. And he decided that his grandma, because he was the oldest,
right.
And he cried and he went nuts for a while, but he finally decided, you know what? She's super ill. Might as well, I'm doing a favor. So he did, man. And what a horrible thing that he cannot describe later. But then, this is what happened. The guy took off thinking, okay, now everybody's going to look for me, right? No, man, no. They called him and said, come home, your grandma passed away. So he went there trying to not even look what he's supposed to have done. And the lady was there just perfectly fine, just, like if she just fell asleep.
Right. Wow.
Immediately after that, this guy told him, look, you got it, brother. You did what we needed. And now I'm going to have to introduce you to some of my friends. When this guy said that, outside the house of this guy, there was a being that looked like a pig humanoid looking, a bipedal pig attacking his mom.
Wow.
Right? This guy immediately got, super altercated. All this story that I'm telling you is this guy telling the story to the Jimmy in Mexico.
Wow.
Brother.
Wow.
My friend Juan Ramon got so many calls like that one. I can tell you the rest of this story later, but let me tell you about the Juan Ramon. Juan Ramon took me with him to several places because we're quite scary stuff to see. One time we went to, because somebody claimed to have a leg of a witch.
Right.
So we went to look for it. The guy didn't let me walk into this. Was like a sacred cave or something. And they didn't let me in because I was in military uniform. They let Juan Ramon because he was the famous, guy from Mexico.
Right.
And the guy, and Juan Ramon came out pale, sweating. I'm like, what the hell, dude? He told me, dude, that thing moved. And it's like a three-finger thing. And he's moving. It's like he's still alive.
Hey, Carlos.
But it looks like...
Carlos,
yes.
Do me a favor. I'm at the end of the show. Yeah. You gotta call in next Thursday, and we'll spend a full segment talking. And I want to hear what he saw in that cave.
Well, Juan Ramon came to El Monte to look for that guy.
Okay, that's what you're going to do.
On Thursday,
on
Thursday, I'm going to tell you what happened.
Yes.
Man. On Thursday, I'm going to tell you what happened.
Carlos, you're the best, man.
Yeah?
You're the best. Be safe out there.
I love you guys.
Go find some UFOs.
Yeah, I'm going back home, man. It's getting cold again. All right, brother.
Thank you, Carlos. Wow. What a night on Fade to Black. Perfect evening. Perfect. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Another Thursday night, Fadernight in the can. Fade to Black's executive producers, Rita Camarion. Shows produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldridge. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA The Planet. This broadcast owned and copyrighted 2019 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. This show tonight is dedicated to our dog, Portia, who left this earth earlier today. Portia, we love you. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Tappy.